Hello, my friends. My name is Amanda with Manda Panda Projects, and today I have a super pretty thrift store luck blocks makeover. Okay, so I got these blocks at my local thrift store. It was a whole entire shebang. I think there was like an entire alphabet with some symbols and a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just using them as blocks to craft with. And today I am making them over into a St. Patrick's Day little shelf sitter that says luck. And I'm using a Dollar Tree candlestick. So that's what I'm painting now. I know it's already white, but it was like a glossy white and I wanted it more like a matte white. So I did go ahead and paint it with Waverly Plaster chalk paint. And then I'm going to dirty it up here with some Kiehl's dark wax. I finally got my Kiehl's in the mail. Sick of using the antique wax. I kept waiting to run out, but I like the Kiehl's. I don't know. I just like the way it looks. It's a little bit darker and I love it. So yeah, get yourself some Kiehl's. So I just took my little dauber thingy and I just grunged the whole thing up. I went all around the bottom little edges. I concentrated on the corners. I went around the top. I did a little bit around the middle, just the entire thing. And you can grunge it up as much or as little as you want. You can skip this step altogether if you don't like that look. Okay, so then I took my blocks and I just did a very quick light coat kind of like over the letters. Now I'm using mostly scrapbook paper, but I'm also using Digital Deco Designs rice paper. It's called Field O Clovers. I'm happy to give you the link to that as well. But because you can see through the rice paper, I wanted to make sure that you wouldn't be able to see those letters through there. So I did go ahead and paint over the letters white just to be safe. So then I took my letters L, C, and K, and I painted those white. These are letters that were sent to me in Happy Mail. One of my crafty friends sent them to me. I think they're probably like 2 inches, 2.5 inches. Painted them white and then just grunged those up with a little bit of Kiehl's dark wax. I took a shamrock template that I had. I saved these templates from years and years, you guys. Every time I print a template to use, I save it, and it came in handy because now I did not have to print it again. So I just traced it onto my cardboard, okay? And then I want it to be corrugated cardboard. So you take some water, spray it on the top, and as soon as the water soaks in, you're able to peel the corrugated part right off, okay? I had a little trouble with this one. I ended up actually doing a separate one. I did it twice because I wasn't happy with the first one. I didn't let it sit long enough. You really got to let it sit and kind of like seep in there, and then it works a lot better. I was being impatient though. Surprise, surprise. All right, so once I got it all corrugated, then I just took the layer off. I cut it out. Again, Kiehl's dark wax. Just grunged it up a little bit all along the edges, over the ridges. I was contemplated, did I want to paint it green? But I decided not to because I had enough green going on. So I decided just to keep it the regular brown color. All right, so this is the Digital Deco Designs. This is called Field O Clovers, okay? Field O Clovers. I'll put my affiliate link to this print in the comments. If you're on Facebook, if you're on like YouTube or TikTok, just leave a comment. Say Clover. Say Clover in the comments, and I will let you know where you can get this adorable rice paper print. She does print and ship, and also you can download and print at home. Okay, so I traced it onto the blocks. I just picked the parts of the design that I wanted on the blocks. This is going to be like the only one that has like a design and not just a pattern. So I had to kind of figure out what part I wanted. I traced it, and then I cut it out. And then I Mod Podged it to the front of the block. Okay, these are really wonky shape, you guys. So it does not fit on there perfectly, but it's fine because I'm going to sand it later. And if you don't have these blocks, you could use foam dice from Dollar Tree. You could use regular wood craft blocks from Dollar Tree or from Amazon. Totally fine if you obviously don't have these from the thrift store. All right, so once I Mod Podged the rice paper on, now I started working with my scrapbook paper. I just used a whole bunch of different kinds that I showed you in the beginning. I used some this green and white polka dot. It's actually Christmas paper. Some green and white polka dot. And then I used another kind of green. Then I used some music sheet. And then I used some other music sheet that I have, distressed music sheet. And then I used this textured kind of cream colored paper. Then I used this brighter green pattern paper. Then I used a little bit of leopard print. Surprise, surprise. I threw in some leopard print. And then I'm going to dry that, make sure it's dry before I sand it. Sanding was a pain in the bee, but my arm was like tired after this, doing all those blocks, all the edges, but it just looks a lot better sanded. The edges were not looking good until I sanded it. And then to kind of grunge it up a little more, I added a little bit more Kiehl's wax all along the edges. I concentrated a little bit more heavily on the corners, and I just did that to all 4 blocks. I don't show all 4 here because you don't need to see the same thing 4 times in a row. But I did do it to all of them. And all right, let's start putting this sorry, my text message dinging. Start putting this bad boy together. So we're going to hot glue all of our letters on. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know how to mute that sound. It's coming from my computer. Gosh darn it. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm not recording this over again. That is for darn sure. All I did was glue the letters and the shamrock down. And then I was going to put it right on the candlestick, but I decided to throw on a little Spanish moss underneath on the bottom. I didn't do it in between each letter. I thought about that too, but I just decided to do the bottom, and then I stacked them on top of each other, and I put them a little wonky. I couldn't do it the way the camera was because it's going to be taller than the camera, so I had to glue the last 2 off of the camera, but I'm sure you know how to glue blocks. And then I took some twine, I strung on a rusty bell, tied it in a shoestring bow, and tied that to the bottom of the shamrock. And there it is. Look at the little kitty in the basket. I love how this turned out. A good old St. Patrick's Day craft. It's a little bit dark here because I did this craft so late. I had 0 lighting, but I didn't want to wait. I wanted to go ahead and get it done. I think this looks super, super pretty. Let me know in the comments what you think. I would love it if you share this video with a friend and let me know, how are your St. Patrick's Day crafts coming along?